more than half of my life now, I've been building extreme PCs. During all of those thousands of hours of building computers, infinite ideas come to mind. Every day I'm having new ideas. And a growing frustration with the products that are on the market, with the industry. It took 5 years to get the first black computer case. So long for such a small advance. And so for a long time, my ultimate goal and dream has been to create my own components. And this has actually been so strong that around the time I started this channel in 2010, I started giving my ideas away to the big manufacturers. In 2015, we faced some of our biggest challenges yet. And it brought me to the realization that the principles and ideas that I'd founded the channel on of just sharing my knowledge for nothing in return weren't going to work anymore. And this realization was just made even stronger not long after this, when another Singularity Computers design, this time a case, was put into production by one of the big manufacturers. And although I'd given it away, when we received not even a mention, I realized that if I didn't step up, if I didn't do something, just even one thing with myself and this company in mind, we were just going to fade away. And so I went back to the drawing board with my ideas, principles, my goals for the future. And finally, I started doing what I truly wanted to do, which was to build my own components. And since then, you've seen quite a number of Singularity Computers components released. But at the same time as I started working on those, I started working on another project. Something that had been forming in my mind since the very beginning, since I first became interested in computers. I mean, we all daydream about the ultimate version of something like the Iron Man suit. And this idea had never actually taken shape, but for me, it was the answer to all of the challenges that we faced. Every project you've ever seen me do since I've started my channel has been for customers except for a few. And so we've never actually had a chance to show what we stand for, what we would do if we had complete creative freedom, and what we are actually capable of. I set out to create the most high-end, the most unique and creative computer case ever built. One thing that was the most important above all is that it would not be a box or anything even close. And also to build the first fully carbon fiber computer case ever. I knew that we needed a complete change of tactics. My biggest weakness, all of the problems that we'd had, came from sharing everything. And so I decided to go top secret on everything that we were doing except for the usual client builds and the usual videos that remained on the channel. From that point onwards, 90% of what I was doing, only a few people actually knew about. I knew I couldn't do this project on my own. Just the gravity of it. It was just an immense project. The chances of success at this point were so slim that it was almost just not even worth trying. I didn't think that I would succeed, but I knew that if I was going to try, I needed people that I could trust. That had been a huge issue, and the biggest issue that we had ever faced was people. And I only had one person left at that point that I trusted. I've always built things with my father. We built my first bike together with parts from the dump when I was 5 years old. We went on to building downhill mountain bikes because I raced. Then in high school, I started a business fixing rainwater tanks, and it became quite successful, and I started that with my father. Then when we moved interstate, when I left school and I went to work for my family's company as a builder, And my father didn't just build normal houses. This is one of the houses that we built, and it won the local award, then the state award, and then the national award for all of Australia. There was another reason I wanted to involve my father. In his heart, he's an artist. If he didn't take providing for his family so seriously, he would have become an artist. And during his life, he's created some amazing pieces, which you're now looking at. He's not actually religious, but when he was 33, he decided to carve a life-size Jesus Christ on the cross. Now, I worked for my family's company for 4 years until I was diagnosed with a serious illness. And I was then disabled and unable to work in the building trade anymore or do any kind of physical work. And a rift grew between me and my father. I think he may have blamed himself for my illness. Maybe he thought he worked me too hard or something. I was a very hard worker, we both were. So I saw this project also as a way of us kind of, working on something together again, as we had in the past. We're used to building things together.
Yeah, to the extent that we've somewhat annoyed the shit out of each other.
Yeah, exactly. Why do you think I asked you to do it?
Because of my experience in sculpting. I hadn't done any for quite a while, but only because of timing and things in my life, restrictions for time. But the passion was still there. The subject matter wasn't. And this made it a priority to get back and do some. So it was needed in one way and by me to get back into it, but it was also needed for you to get this product off the ground.
Yeah. And when we first discussed this, we didn't really know at all what we were going to do.
No.
Where did the original idea come from? Because obviously I went to you with some
two concepts.
Ideas.
Yeah, two concepts you had.
This was a particular customer request. That's actually where it started, and we decided to take it a lot further.
I think some things happen by accident to some degree. Somebody comes up with a request, and then you begin to work on the concept of the request, and then it just begins to flow out of that. When James came into the picture later on through the process, his ability and knowledge took it slightly in a different flavour. Still embracing and still passionate, but, if not more passionate in that way, in his way, to bring it to where it is now.
Hi, I'm James Passmore. I'm a design engineer and manufacturing engineer for Singularity Computers. Like a lot of you, I was a fan of Daniel's for years. I watched a lot of his videos, and when I started seeing hints of this project on YouTube, I didn't really know what I was looking at, but I knew I wanted to be a part of it. I left a couple comments offering some help with the composites on a few of his videos, not really expecting anything to come of it. And he got back to me, and we started talking, and I started to do a little bit of design work for him here and there. One thing led to another, and while 99% of what comes out of YouTube comments probably couldn't be called positive, this turned into a really positive thing for us, and we hope something exciting for all of you guys that we can share with you. I guess that one thing about it that really kind of took me by surprise is this went from being just kind of a cool project that Daniel was doing to being a real labor of love and a real central part of my life pretty quickly. Working at Singularity has been different than any other company I've ever worked for. I guess besides just, I get to work on gaming computers, the real difference has been kind of the ethos of the company. It was built by a YouTube channel, sharing information on how Daniel does everything, just trying to trying to share with everybody, trying to share ideas, trying to kind of, you know, push the boundaries, trying to just perfect the art. And that's really carried over into the business side of things. I mean, while obviously we need to make a living, what's really struck me about Singularity is that really comes second. Like, what's really comes first is staying true to the maker and modder community, staying true to sharing our ideas, sharing our processes, and this is kind of just an extension of that. We fully intend to share kind of how the sausage is made. You're going to get to see the behind the scenes of the manufacturing, the machining, the design, the carbon fiber layup. Most companies, well, every company I've ever worked for besides this one, has always kept that kind of thing pretty close to their chest, I guess, for, you know, competitive reasons, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's understandable, and that's totally fine. But we're not about that. We're about kind of pushing the whole art form forward, and to do that, we need to share that. We need to bounce ideas off of the community. We need to get feedback. We want to share kind of what to us has been a really exciting adventure, you know, an adventure we're really only halfway through. You're going to watch us build the prototypes. You're going to kind of watch this whole thing move forward and really become something. I guess for me, element 6, while it is about pushing the boundaries of gaming hardware, while it is about trying to kind of get outside of the rectangular sort of case, for me it's kind of something more than that. I think every designer has kind of a goal where they don't really want to strike a compromise between art and engineering. They really want the two to kind of become the same thing. It's really more of a marriage of art and engineering, where every component has its own beauty and has a function, and there really isn't a whole lot extra. You know, they come from each other. You know, not a lot of cruft, just beautiful design, functional design, and that's what Daniel's been about all along. And that's really kind of culminated in this whole project, and hopefully down the road, pushing even farther to follow. I mean, I guess the downside of sharing everything is, you know, the competition obviously is going to kind of be included in our development work. But you know, we that just means we got to stay ahead of the game. We have to move on. We have to keep pushing the boundaries. We have to keep growing. If you want to be a part of this, if you want to see this move forward, if you want to share in kind of the adventure we're on, that's what this is for. That's what this is all here for. What we're doing, we think, is something that we think a lot of people could benefit from. We're committing to kind of sharing this journey with our fans and with our followers, and kind of democratizing the whole manufacturing process. We want to hear from you guys. We want your input to influence the next case after this one, and the one after that, and the other things we do, some of our other components, you know. This is an exciting time, you know. We're really moving forward, and hopefully making something you think is beautiful while we do it.
When designing Element 6, we decided to redesign the PC case from the ground up. From the one-piece carbon shell that is the signature feature of this case, to the machined billet aluminum trim, everything about this case is about pushing the limits of the art. Moving inside, we find a case made purely with the enthusiast in mind. From the machined twin-rail frame design, to the unique airflow design that works with convection rather than against it, to the internal carbon shrouds that tie the aesthetic together, this case is perfect for the enthusiast who wants to build a gaming system to the next level, or for the creative professional who wants a full system to be a piece of art that will complement the work they do on it. Built for water cooling, the case features space to fully conceal two 560mm radiators. It also features integrated reservoir mounts and an interior layout that presents the water cooling hardware in its best light without compromising usability. Moving beyond water cooling, we have a minimalist approach to the chassis components, where aesthetics, structure, and function are one. We have designed in ample room for both ATX and eATX motherboards, space for the largest graphics cards, and the option to wall mount the entire case if desired. We have also included a one-of-a-kind cable management system that even addresses the usually poor appearance of the I/O panel cables. The rear of the case presents a robust, precision-machined scissor hinge design, dampened by adjustable gas struts, to maximize rigidity and smooth, consistent performance. Overall, we have attempted to blend function and form into something the real enthusiast will truly appreciate. A case designed not only to please the eye, but to redefine what a case can be.
First, Element 6 was just a distant dream, something that I thought would probably never be possible. Now we have almost completed the first prototype, and we have been prototyping for a number of months. So it is extremely close to completion. But the next step is to bring it to the world. And for that, we are looking to all of you. E6 will be available on Kickstarter from August the 22nd. Initially, there will only be 24 cases available, so this is extremely exclusive. But with the success of the Kickstarter, there will be more available, and eventually this case will also retail. But the development will be shared with the world. So this project is a gift to everybody. And everything that this development has brought, the technological advance, the new ideas, my real goal for E6 is to create, in my opinion, a renaissance in this industry, to give the manufacturers, the big manufacturers, a little nudge and say, look what this tiny little company has created just with the hard work and dedication of 3 people. What can you do with all of your resources? I have dedicated my life to this, and my team and I will work tirelessly creating, pushing the art of PC building forward. Our goal to create rapid advance in this industry so that there is more competition with the big manufacturers. The status quo will change. Without monopolies, there will be more put into R&D. Things will move forward a lot more quickly. The industry will become a lot more exciting, and then new people will join us. The enthusiast community will grow. The entire industry will grow. I see huge room for growth and a lot of room for advance and technological advance that could even filter down into other things. I mean, some of the things that we are working on behind the scenes right now have many different applications. E6 is an incredibly important moment for us because it is also introducing us as a case manufacturer. This is our first case. With the success of E6, overnight we will become a case manufacturer, and we have 3 more cases ready to follow this one. Don't worry, they're not all as radical and out there as this one. The other cases will be designed for mass production so that they will be available to everybody. In just a few weeks, I'll be building into the very first Element 6 prototype. And yes, there will be a build log. And this will be the most amazing moment of my life, considering that this is an idea that's been forming in my mind for many years. And I've been working on it for the past 3 years with this amazing team. I cannot wait to share that with you. I'll also be sharing with you the entire development. There will be a development series that will run for about a year on the channel, showing the thousands of hours of development. And, that's just to bring it up to the present. We still need to bring this case to the world, to put it into production. There is still a huge job that lies ahead, and there is still so much more to share with you. We set out to create our ultimate idea of a computer case, the most creative thing that we could possibly imagine, completely cost unconstrained, not restricted by anything. And this allowed us to push the computer case further than it has ever gone before. More than anything, we hope that this can be an inspiration to everybody to push the boundaries and to aspire constantly to something bigger.